Welcome to the channel and welcome to Warhammer 40k 8th edition and welcome to this battle report between Adeptus Mechanicus and Tyranids. Today we're going to be fighting in this chemical processing plant where my Adeptus Mechanicus force, known as the Penitent Forge, will be defending against attack from Hive Fleet Goliath. The Hive Fleet are going to be rampaging into this sector where they want to destroy these containers, these yellow scenery items that you see in front of you, and the Adeptus Mechanicus will be trying to defend. This is a 150 point power level narrative game. So because we're playing narrative, that means that none of those match play rules will be coming into effect here. You can smite on a 5 all the time. You can deep strike wherever you want to. It's going to be big at 150 power level. It's going to be glorious. And the narrative speaks for itself, essentially. Here in this facility, if Hive Fleet Goliath come in and wreck open these containers here, they will spill chemical ooze, chemical filth into the atmosphere, into the processors, and take out big chunks of this planet here. It will be very bad for the people that live here. What I imagine is in this chemical processing plant, what happens is the tech forgers make all this oozy stuff, stick it in these containers here and ship it off to faraway worlds where it's used to further the war effort, where it's used for the greater good, the greater imperial good, that is. And the Hive Fleet doesn't mind sacrificing a few of its bugs to come in here and destroy everything, so the Penitent Forge need to defend it. It's going to be, deployment's going to be a bit weird. What's going to happen is the Adeptus Mechanicus are going to be deployed up to the halfway line. Now I can deploy 50% of the way up here, which will be interesting for me because it might leave gaps in the backfield for the Hive Fleet to drop in on, and I don't want that to happen. Then we're going to have a 24-inch buffer, and then the Hive Fleet will be deployed right up on this end here. So they have got some way to go as they scramble through these gantries, through this portion of the facility, into the chemical processing part of the facility. And it's going to be random game lengths. And then they've got to destroy these things. So at the end of the game, I will get D3 points for every single one of these terrain features that are still standing. So I could get 1 or 3, or 1, 2 or 3, or get D3 for every single one that's still standing. And the Tyranids will get D3 points for every single one that they wreck. There's also going to be a bonus point for Slay the Warlord. No Line Breaker, no First Blood. Doesn't make sense. But potentially the Tyranids could wipe out this one, this one, this one and get 1 point, 1 point, 1 point. And then 1 for Slay the Warlord and get 4 points. And then I could roll a 3 on a D3 and a 3 on a D3 and save both of them and potentially get more points, though the Tyranids have wiped out 3 barrels. Or vice versa. That way it keeps it random. That way it keeps it interesting. That way we don't really know who's going to win. So those are the victory conditions for this battle in the chem zone, and we welcome first time on the channel is Redtooth, or Dan Redtooth if you're a Patreon.
Hello.
Hello, thank you for coming down. Have I missed anything from the rules? I think that's what we agreed on, right? You're starting here, I'm there, and you've got to blow up these containers.
Yes. We decided when they blow up, they will cause mortal wounds to everyone nearby.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep. So you've got to attack them, right?
Yes.
You've got to claw them open.
In melee.
Yes.
And you have to get at least 6 hits.
Oh, more than 5 hits. That was right.
5 hits.
Yes. So you've got to charge them, and if you charge them with just one little bug that's left alive, he won't be able to scrabble his way inside and break them open. You've got to charge them and attack them and get more than 5 hits. So long as you get more than 5 hits, you wreck them open. Job done, right?
Yes.
And then they go boom.
Yes.
Or they go sploosh as the chemical filth pops all over the place. And we're going to roll 1d6 to see how far the range is, and 1d6 and it'll hit everything around it. Not going to roll for that unit, that unit, that unit, that unit. So they'll blow up and do up to D6 mortal wounds for everything around it. And bear in mind that this will be my deployment zone. It could be very painful for me. Oh, and hyper-adaptive biology for the Tyranids as well, right?
Yes.
So the first time you wreck it, it'll do 1d6 worth of damage, and then the second time it'll be a d6 worth of damage to you -1, and then a d6 worth of damage to you -2. So if this one we rolled a 2 on the damage table, everything around it for me will be getting 2 mortal wounds. And if you've wrecked 2 already, you won't be getting any mortal wounds because the hive mind knows how to adapt.
We're used to it by then.
Yes, yeah. You're nomming your way through the chemical and you think it's quite a refreshing shower by that point. So we're trying to wreck open these, get them into the atmosphere, spoil this chemical facility and bring death and ruin, while the rest of the planet is obviously having a very bad time. Mycetic spores raining down all over the place, but it is here in the chemical processing plant where this planet will be won or lost, because if you do wreck all of these, then I guess the planet will be screwed. But if we manage to defend it, if the Penitent Forge manages to stay strong, then the planet may still be screwed because it's under a Tyranid invasion, let's face it. But at least there will be a fighting chance for us. So that's it, 150 power level. A couple of shout outs. This terrain, this modular terrain at this end of the table, all these gantries are brought to you by foreground.co.uk. And the battle map is from Cold Chem Zone and it's from GameMat.eu. And these containers and these generators and these pipeworks, this is all from GameMat.eu as well. So this stuff, GameMat.eu, this stuff, foreground.co.uk. Let's go and have a look at these armies. Right, this is exactly 150 power level of Adeptus Mechanicus. It's a brigade detachment. That's the one with the 3 heavies, 3 fast, 3 elites, 3 HQs, and lots of troops. And the Penitent Forge follows the Martian Forge World Dogma. And my warlord is the 17th designate of the Penitent Forge, D17. Here he is, aka Belisarius Call. And he's bringing along with him a Tech Priest Dominus. This guy's got the Autocarduceus of Arkan Land. That's the relic, I think that's what it's called. Basically, he can re-roll healing vehicles. And he's got Tech Priest engines here with him. The Martian Forge World Dogma is Canticles of the Omnissiah. I roll twice, and I get both of them, unless I roll a double. And D17 can make that result go up or down by 1. So it means Canticles become very user-friendly. You nearly always get the one that you want to get. Of course, you can just pick one a turn every turn, but you can only do that. You can only pick Shroud's Arm once, for example. This gives me 15 command points to play with because it's a brigade. And I didn't just want to bring shooty stuff. I wanted to bring some punchy stuff, which may not be the wisest decision against Tyranids because they are very punchy. So bringing punchy stuff, I've got 2 units of Electro Priests there, some Infiltrators and some punchy bots. So the Castellan robots there and there, as you can see, have got the Flamers and the Fists rather than just Dagger bots, because it gets boring if you just bring the Dagger bots along all the time. And this gives me some options for charging forward and punching some of the Tyranids. And the Dragoons in the backfield are 3 individual units, fast attack units. They're punchy as well. So I've got quite a bit of punchy going on, as well as the Data Smith with his Power Fist. He'll be running up there. But I have got some shooty too, quite naturally. There's 2 units of Destroyers with the Plasma Culverins, 3 units of Onika Doom Crawlers with the Neutron Lasers. Yeah, that's what they're called. And then 7x5 units of Little Gribblies. I've got Rangers and Vanguard, and everything is WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. So arc guns there. These are Plasma Calibers. There's 2 Transuranic Arquebuses there. Basically, in this, every single unit has got 2 specialist weapons, except for this squad here, which is just, I ran out of specialist weapons, basically. So they're just got their normal radium carbines. So we've got some screen, some shooting, some punching, a very mixed Mechanicus list against the onrushing Tyranid horde. This will either work really well for me or really, really badly. Let's go and have a look at the Tyranids. And this is 150 points on the nose of High Fleet Goliath. It's also a brigade detachment, so 15 command points there to spend with. What High Fleet adaptation are you using, Red Tooth?
I am using Jormungandr.
So what does that do?
It is the one that allows me to count as if I'm in cover, as long as my unit doesn't advance, charge, or have the fly keyword.
Nice.
It also has a stratagem that allows units that are infantry to come in with the tunnels, with the Raveners, or the Trigon, or the Morlock.
Okay, so your infantry can come up from underground.
Mm-hmm.
You're burrowing through this network of tunnels and gantries and air ducts underneath this chemical complex. I like it.
Yep.
Warlords and warlord traits.
Okay, so we forgot to mention there is a super heavy auxiliary detachment in addition, which I guess we might as well say first.
Yeah, what's that?
The Scythe Hero Duel.
Right.
Which is basically a Tyranid Knight.
A Tyranid Knight. How many wounds has he got?
22.
22. Toughness 8?
Toughness 8.
Right, okay.
3 up save. He's got lots of big scary attacks, and he's got a acid spurt flamer gun.
How's the range on the flamer spurt?
It's only 8-inch range.
Right.
But he is
so
quite nippy.
So a short range thingy bob, but he's fast, he's nippy, and if he gets into my lines, it's all over.
Well, we'll see.
So as Caiaphas Cain said, shoot the big things. So shoot that.
There is a fair few big things to shoot.
There is quite a few big things to shoot. There is, yeah. So where are we starting first, sir?
Warlord.
Old school
Hive Tyrant.
I love it.
The classic big grin Hive Tyrant.
Yes.
He has monstrous rending claws and the heavy venom cannon, which has been replaced with my relic, the miasma cannon.
Right.
Which is a heavy venom cannon that wounds infantry all the time on a 2-up.
Okay.
And if you're within 8-inch range, it hits automatically.
Nice.
It's like a flamer. It's good.
What's his warlord trait?
His warlord trait, I believe, is adaptive biology, which allows him to reduce damage he takes by 1, providing he's already taken damage once during the game previously.
So long as he gets hurt, he can start reducing wounds. He's got a big nasty flame cannon. He's got some Hive Guard with him as well.
Ah, yes.
Old school Hive Guard. Nice. Okay.
Or Tyrant Guard, rather.
Tyrant Guard. Yep.
So next HQ choice, we've got the Malanthrope, which is basically a big venom thrope.
Yep.
Produces a 3-inch bubble of -1 to hit me.
Yep.
For everyone around it.
So this thing's got 9 wounds.
Yes, and it is a character.
It is a character, so I can't shoot it, but 9 wounds and it's -1 to hit. Everything within 3 inches. Should also mention that this model and the giant big thing in the backfield are from ForgeWorld.com. For those that don't know, Forge World is a subsidiary of Games Workshop where you can buy extra Games Workshop goodness. So that's where the Malanthrope comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
and then we have 2 Neurothropes.
Yes.
Who have both got the Psychic Scream, Psychic Power.
Psychic Brain Bugs, I like it.
Instantly, the Hive Tyrant has the Horror and Catalyst.
Right. Is the Malanthrope a Psycho?
He is not a Psycho, but he is a Synapse creature.
Okay.
Which is nice.
Broodlord?
Broodlord, yes.
I like a Broodlord.
He's a Broodlord. He's got the Horror Psychic Power.
Yep. And a bunch of Gene Stealers because you've got the Broodlord.
20 Gene Stealers.
Nice.
Of which 4 of them have the Acid Maw.
Okay.
Which is kind of like a power sword, basically.
Yep.
Except it's in the face.
Yep.
Then we have complete the troops. We have 2 units of 3 Ripper Swarms.
Yes.
And we've got 2 units of 3 warriors with Death Spitters and a Venom Cannon in each.
Warriors are good because they're Synapse as well.
They are Synapse.
Notice they're cheap and they help increase that Synapse bubble. Synapse is you're fearless so long as you're in Synapse range, right? And then there's instinctive behaviour and then there's Shadow and the Warp. So instinctive behaviour is got a 24-inch range.
I think so.
And
if you're not in that, shooting. If you're shooting a unit or charging unit that isn't the nearest, you have to take -1 off to hit or -2 off the charge range.
Something like that. So basically, for those that don't know, you have to stay within Synapse, which is you have to stay within instinctive behaviour range. 24 inches are one of these things. If you're outside of that, then it's minuses to hit or to shoot. Something that's not the closest. Instinctive behaviour is a Shadow and the Warp is an 18-inch range. I don't have any psychers, that won't come into effect. And Synapse is the 12-inch range. Basically, so long as everything that is here is within 12-inch range of a Synapse creature, you don't have to take leadership. So Tyranids don't run away. Warriors help you
Not
increase
run away.
that. Yeah, Synapse bubble and not run away. Cool,
Okay,
I like
so
it.
in addition, I've got, as we mentioned previously, 20 Gene Stealers
Yeah,
and 30 Termagants.
nice.
That fills out my troop choices.
Gargoyles.
I do have 2 units of 10 Gargoyles
Okay.
and a unit of 3 Raveners to make up my 3 fast attack.
Old school Raveners as well.
Yes, they're medium old school.
Medium old school.
Not the oldest,
No.
but older.
And then on to the big bugs. What we got over here?
So we've got Elite's Choice, we've got the Tyrant Guard, we've got Zoanthropes to hang out with the Neurothropes.
Neurothropes.
The other Thrope.
Yeah.
So over here, Elite's Choice, we have the Horror Specs.
Yes.
This is obviously a converted one. It started life as a Tervagon before the Tervagon model existed.
Cool.
And then became a Horror Specs.
Yes.
It's cool.
Yep.
Onto heavy support, we've got the Tyrannifex with the acid spray.
I like it.
Yes, it's very nice. And then we have a Morlock and a Trigon.
Cool.
Not a Prime, just a regular.
So we've got 5 big bugs coming in the backfield. Well, not that the Trigon or the Morlock will be coming in the backfield. They'll be charging up the centre of the table. Loads of little bugs. So a good screen, and then a fair chunk of characters and psychic powers as well. So a relatively mixed Tyranid list. The fact that you've got a horror specs tells me that this is a friendly Tyranid list, because it's not very good.
No.
I've tried to run it a couple of times and it just...
It's funny.
Yeah, but it's not very good. However, having this Malanthrope there, with its 3-inch aura of -1 to hit every unit within 3 inches, so you can leave a long tail going back, and it's a character, and it can't be targeted. That's quite a mean thing. So we've got some spice in this meatball. Let's go on to deployment. And we're deployed for this 150 point power level game, fighting inside of this refinery, and everything I've got is on the table, minus the infiltrators. And because I could deploy up to the halfway line, I took advantage of that rule. So there should be nothing popping up back here in my lines, minus the Morlock, who can come up within 1 inch of enemy models but can't charge on the turn. It does so. And Designate 17 is there, and he's within 9-inch range of this unit, and the destroyers. Overcooking the destroyers might be a bad idea, seeing as I'll be getting hot on 1s and 2s because of the Malanthrope, or anything within range of the Malanthrope. And I say 9-inch range of him because that's what his Warlord trait does. Any aura effects that he has are increased by 3 inches. So he allows me to re-roll all failed shooting, or all shots in the shooting phase. Not just failed ones, you could re-roll successful ones if you want to, but it only applies to the shooting phase, not to the Overwatch phase. And his Warlord trait gets it up to 9 inches rather than just the standard 6. Then I've got 2 more Onager Dune Crawlers out on this flank, along with the Dominus. And then we've got the priests and some robots. And I put the Dragoons at the front because I figured, narratively speaking, they would be farthest up the table, along with some of the Vanguard. Vanguard doing what Vanguard do. In other words, getting up the table, being the Vanguard of this army. I've spoken earlier, if any of these things go pop, or when these things go pop, it's going to be pretty devastating for my lines. But at least I'm presenting quite a buffer for the Tyranids to get through. And then we look down past the gantries and we can see the Tyranid swarm. Red Tooth, what have you done? There's the Malanthrope right in the middle, right?
Malanthrope in the middle. Yes. We have a bubble of units that are all within 3 inches of him. We have the Hirajul, the Horror Specs.
And it doesn't just affect infantry, right? It affects
everything.
Nice, I like it.
And both the Gaunt and the Gene Stealer units are within 3, but they're spread out to go down the flanks. We've got the Flyer, the Gargoyles on the sides to flap up and get in the way.
Yep.
A few Warriors up here just to provide a token bit of covering fire.
Yep.
Tyrannifex is here because he wouldn't fit within 3 inches of the Malanthrope.
Yes.
There's only so much room we got there. It's all going to go forward in turn 1 anyway.
Yep.
And then I've left the Morlock, the Trigon, the Raveners off the board. The other unit of warriors are in the Trigon's tunnel, ready to pop up with him.
Okay.
And I've also spent 3 command points already to put the Zoanthropes and the 2 Malanthropes underground, coming up with the Raveners in the tunnel. I've also got 2 units of 3 Rippers hiding somewhere off the board.
So 2 units of 3 Rippers, the Trigon and the Morlock underground, but also some of your Psychic Mike, the Neurothrope and the Venom and the Neurothropes underground as well, which is very interesting. So popping up, and the Psychic Battering Ram, which will unload against the Penitent Forge, will be devastating. Right. So we need to roll off to see who goes first, and I got down way after you. So this is a custom narrative game, so typically there's rules on narrative, like the person who attacks goes first, the person who defends goes, but we discussed it and thought we'd just do the roll-off thing, right? So I'm going to roll a dice and not add anything to it, and then you can roll a dice and add 1. That's what we've decided in this custom narrative. So I get a 1. Can you beat a 1? I think you can, with +1 to your dice roll.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah. Lovely. I'm going to try and steal. Let's try and steal. Oh, do I really want to steal? See, most of my guns aren't really in range of your army. 48-inch range here. I don't think I want to steal. I think you need to go first. Yes, I think I need to get them closer. But do I really want them closer? It could be painful. Oh no, let it go. I don't know. Let's go on to Tyranids turn 1. Here we are after turn 1 movement phase for Hive Fleet Goliath. They advance through the chemical facility, and as you can see, nothing has decided to deep strike in yet in my lines. Red Tooth deciding that if he did pop in lots and lots of things, apart from the Rippers, if he did drop in lots and lots of things in the front line, then it gives most of my army something nice to shoot at and destroy, and then the second wave will hit. This way, the first wave will hit at the same time as the Deep Strikers tactics there. The only thing Deep Striking, of course, these Rippers, because this thing moves quite quickly. As Dragoon moves quite quickly. He's not, so it doesn't need to screen the Tyrannifex that much because it's a Tyrannifex and it's got an auto-hitting, really, really nasty flamer. And the Dragoon really doesn't want to charge him. But the Rippers are dropping in there just in case this Dragoon comes round and decides to go flying up against the meat of Hive Fleet Goliath there. So some tactics happening, making sure both waves hit at the same time. In the psychic phase, these 2 units with the dice were horrified, so that'll be -1 for shooting for those 2 units. And my canticles are the Omnissiah this turn, a Chant of the Remorseless Fist, reroll hit rolls of 1, and also Incantation of the Iron Soul, which is essentially Amnation No No Fear, reroll morale tests. And we can see
got -1 leadership for the horror.
Oh yeah, -1 leadership for the horror as well, you're right. So as we look, we can see some gargoyles on this side and the little bugs. Basically, the little bugs are advancing.
Yep.
So they haven't got the
Jormungandr.
Jormungandr is, so long as you don't advance or charge, you get a bonus as though you're in cover. But these guys are in cover anyway. They're in this terrain piece there. And then the other big stuff in the backfield, I don't think it did advance. No. This Harrow Specs is out of range of the Malanthrope, so you put Catalyst on him.
Correct.
Which is
5 up, old school, feel no pain.
That's it, yeah, 5 up, feel no pain. And then everything staying within, like the Hive Tyrant and the Brood Lord and the big, nasty Lord of War, staying within 3-inch range of the Maliceptor. So a push forward, but not a jump in yet with the deep strike. The hive mind being tactical. Right, let's go on to the shooting phase. In the shooting phase, the gargoyles fired some flesh borers down at this unit of Scutari here. They're assault weapons, so they can move and fire them. It did no damage. Now we're coming across here to the Tyrannifex, opening up on the Dragoon, just in range. So it's an auto-hitting flamer. What's it called?
The acid spray.
The acid spray. And how many shots?
2d6.
Nice. Okay, let's see how many you get. And that's 6 auto hits. And it's strength user. His strength is currently 7, right?
I believe so.
And I'm toughness 6. So you're going to be winning on 3s. And we've got 3 wounds. AP minus?
It's -1 d3 damage.
Okay, so I need 5s. And I make 2 of them. Excellent. A D3 damage, sir. For 3 damage. They start off with 6, got 3 left.
Okay, then I've got the Stinger Salvo.
Oh, yeah.
Well?
Yeah.
It'll only hit on the 5s because of your -1 to hit.
Yes.
And it's strength 5, so no damage.
No damage. So 3 wounds off the Dragoon. 3 more to get through. Any more shooting, sir?
The warrior is going to fire. We measured up one of the death spitters is in range of this little unit over here.
Yes.
And the venom cannon will be firing at the Dragoon.
Okay. So do you want to do the venom cannon first?
Sure thing.
Okay.
That's D3 shots.
Yes.
2 shots.
2 shots.
Hitting on 5s because of your...
-1 to hit because of incense cloud. There's a hit. Nice.
Strength 8, 7.
Well, 3's to wound then. That's a wound minus.
I believe it's -2 D3 damage.
Okay, I need a 6. And I rolled a 6. Nice target lock symbol. Not marked for death, target lock. And then the other one doing
the death spitter at
shots
that
at the vanguard, yeah.
1 hit.
Yep, hitting on a 4.
Wounding 1 wound, it's strength 5, -1 save.
So I need a 5 up. And I make that as well. Nice, my dice are rolling well at the moment. Edit, we just had a thought, edit. You can't drop in more than within 9 inches of a unit, one of my units, but you could potentially drop in right in front of one of these, or after you've killed a chunk of my stuff, you could potentially drop in 2 inches away from one of these things, charge it, hit it, destroy it, right?
Yeah.
So we have said that in the turn that you deep strike in, you can't charge one of the objectives. Otherwise, it could get very gamey very quickly, and this game might be over very quickly. Yeah?
Well, I first have to kill your stuff to do that.
Yes.
But
it could be a thing.
An exploitable.
Yes. So we don't want that to happen. We want to have a good game here.
This is narrative, no exploitation.
Right, let's go on to AdMech movement phase. Here we are after the movement phase for the Penitent Forge. The AdMech have pushed forward into the jaws of the beast, have moved this unit of destroyers forward onto this bomb here, this chemical silo. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? And because it did that, this Dragoon has come back because it left a lovely gap for some Tyranids tunneling through these gantries below me to come bursting up. So he's pulled back. The Dragoons are essentially a counterpunch unit, which is why they were there, along with the priests. So that's what's happened there. These robots are in range of flaming those gargoyles, and then the screen moves forward. There's very little things I'm going to be able to reach out and touch because I'm all the way back here. But I need to try and kill a few things. So basically what's happening here is lots of tactical repositioning to make sure that we're scanning the ground, using our auspex, preventing the Tyranids from popping up in any location in amongst this part of the complex. That's essentially what's going on here. So the robots will shoot the Rippers with the heavy incendiing combustors. Now these are 12-inch range flamers, which are nice. They'll auto hit those Rippers. They're the only thing I can reach out and touch, and hit them 6 times. Strength 5 versus toughness 3, wounding on 3s. 4 wounds at AP -1. Now they normally have a 6 up save, so that would normally burn through their armor. But because of the high fleet adaptation, you get +1. So you need 6s. You get no 6s. I think they got 3 wounds each.
They have indeed.
So killed 1 and tickled another. Then after the robots fired at the Rippers, I didn't put any more shots into them because I figured the Dragoon can smash them in close combat. So this unit of Vanguard here unloaded on the gargoyles, killing all but 1. And then these heavy stubbers on this Onaga Dune Crawler finished off those gargoyles there. And the neutron laser is firing downtown into this Tyranifex here, and I have D3 shots for 1 shot, classic. I need to kill this thing, but I have got down and had a look, and these 2 guys can see it as well. So rather than start burning command points on rerolls for now, I'll leave that 1, and I'm hitting on a 3, and I'm rerolling 1s because of him. So I completely whiffed. Nice. So let's fire the other one downtown at the Tyranifex. The stubbers are not in range of anything else. So number of shots for 3. That's better. And I will hit on 3s and re-roll 1s. And I roll 2 2s, so only one hit. Strength 10 versus... Mind you, I could do a command point re-roll now. Let's do a command point re-roll. And I miss anyway. Okay, strength 10 versus toughness 8. I'll wound on a 3. That's a wound at -4, but you stood... So that would typically burn through your armour, but with your Mungu, you get a 6. And you don't make it, unless you want a command point reroll there.
Yeah, not for a 6.
Okay, and this will do d6 damage.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, try again. 3 damage. Right, let's fire the last of the Onager Dune Crawlers at that Tyrannifex. Number of shots, d3, for 1 again. Right, this is narrative. This is narrative.
Yes, it is.
I can re-roll that again with narrative. Yeah, command point in the pot. Thank you very much. And I have plenty of them. I need to kill it. It's nasty. And I get 3 shots. Okay, so I'm hitting on 3s. And everything hits. And I'm strength 10 versus toughness 8. I'm wounding on 3s. Don't get a bunch of 2s, Winters. Okay,
Nice.
everything wound. You need 3 6s to keep it alive. Honestly, triple Onager Dune Crawlers. I should be able to kill
No
it.
saves. 3
No
d6.
saves. 3
Got 11
d6.
wounds left.
11 left. Minimum 3 as well.
I'll do
Oh,
it.
yeah, it dies. Nice.
Does it frenzy? No.
It doesn't frenzy. To be honest, 3 Onager Dune Crawlers firing at it, it should have died. Next up, 2 Tyranid Arquebuses, 60-inch range. They count as sniper weaponry, and I can see the Broodlord all the way over there. So I'm going to be hitting him on 4s because it's -1 to hit, right?
Because this guy.
And Neurothreat's right next to him. So 3s normally, and then I can re-roll to hit because I am in 9-inch range of Designate 17. So only 1 hit. This is strength 6. So Broodlord's toughness 5, yeah. 3s to wound. I wound.
He's got a 5 up and vulnerable save.
Cool. 5 up and bum.
Nope.
Nope. And this does D3 damage. For 2 damage on the Broodlord. The Arquebuses are strength 7 -2 AP D3 damage. Anyway, 2 wounds knocked off that Broodlord. 4 to get through. Then we moved around to this side of the battle grid. And the flamers and the small arms fire erupted on the second unit of gargoyles and wiped them out. And this unit down here managed to put a couple of wounds into the little bugs on the ground floor. So both of the units of gargoyles are gone. I need to cut down some of the speed. And now the last thing left to fire, when I get back and look at my army, the only remaining things in range really, is this unit of destroyers. I am in 9-inch range of Designate 17, and I can see the Haruspecs, and it is out of the 3-inch bubble of the thingy bob.
That is correct.
Yeah, so I'll put 3 Plasma Culverins into them, and I will overcharge because I've got the reroll because of D17. So this is D6 shots
Always
each.
overcharge.
And it's a 6 and a 5 and a 5.
Hello.
Hello. These guys hit on 4s though. Now they're heavy weapons, but they can move and fire their heavy weapons as though standing still. They've got that special rule. So 4s to hit. If I roll any 1s, I could potentially lose a guy. Because I'm overcooking, and on 1s I will lose a guy. So re-roll them. And I lose a guy. So that's 3 hits with the first one.
It's only a servitor.
6, it's only a servitor, yeah. Mindless drone. 4s for the next shot. And what I'm going to do is not re-roll those 3s, because they could turn into 1s, but I will re-roll that 1. And I don't lose a guy. That number of hits. And then 6 more shots with the last dude, hitting on 4s. And re-rolling the 1s. Do I re-roll the 3 and the 2? Yeah, what the hell. Re-rolling.
Only a servitor.
So only a servitor. That's pretty good. So all of those shots hit. I'm now up to strength 8. You're toughness 8, right?
Yes.
I respect. So I'm wounding on 4s.
Correct.
And this will burn straight through your armour and stuff. Oh no, it's -3. Yeah, that's the horrified thing. 4s to wound. That many wounds. Not a lot.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Say that again.
He is still technically in cover, so he's effectively got a 5 up save, and he's got the catalyst
Okay.
on him as
So
well.
5's up saves. And
Hello.
you make 3 of them. Well done. But because
2
they're
damage
overcooked,
each.
2 damage each. Yeah, and with catalyst. So
5 ups to ignore.
Yep. Okay.
Not 2 of them,
Only
takes
2 wounds.
2 wounds.
2 wounds, and it cost me a servitor to do it.
I'll take that.
He dies. Finally, you made some saving throws there, Red 2. Well done. Because it was looking quite bad at some point. Right, that's the end of my shooting phase. Now the Dragoon is going to charge in on those Rippers there. And so the Dragoon charged in against the Rippers. Right, he's only got 3 attacks, but 6s count as 3 hits because of this taser goad here. And I don't want to be locked up with those Rippers again and again and again. So I spent a command point on Conqueror, Doctriner. Basically, he's got a +2 to hit because he gets a +1 with the stratagem, but he's got a broad spectrum data tether which gets it to 2s. So it's 2s to hit, and the dice will explode on 4s instead of on 6s. Right? I got that right? I got that right.
Yes.
Yes. So typically his dice explode on 6s, but this, with the stratagem, it means that they'll explode on 4s. And I didn't get any 4s, and I only get 2 hits. So I am going to get locked up with those bugs no matter what. I will be killing them on his strength 6, so 2s. And I do get 2 wounds.
There is a negative on that?
I've forgotten. Taser Lancers -1, 2 damage each. So I did kill one of them and put this one down to 1 wound left, and I haven't killed it, and how annoying. And then it spikes back. It chewed at my kneecaps and didn't do any damage at all. It's in Synapse, so it's fearless, so it's locked. I am locked. That is the end of turn 1 for the Adeptus Mechanicus. I did manage to nibble away some of the screen and get rid of the big nasty Tyrannifex, but there's still things that are big and nasty, stompy, coming my way, and of course there's a rumbling underground. Let's go on to Tyranids, turn 2. Here we are after turn 2, movement phase for High Fleet Goliath, and the swarm washes forward. We have a Morlock popping up here. Now this can pop up within 2 inches of an enemy unit, and it'll do mortal wounds at the end of the movement phase to the stuff around it. We'll get to that in a second. And then some Rippers popped up here, and that Ripper swarm broke out of combat. Remember, all he needs to do, they can't charge this turn as per the rule we came up with.
Yep.
But next turn, if they hide around there, potentially some Rippers could burrow through that objective there and rip it open. Plus, it gives me some distraction stuff that I need to deal with over here. Then in the middle, Gene Stealers can advance and charge, and you rolled a big 5. They move 8 already, so 13 inches. They came charging right up the gut, and they're already danger close to my lines. The Broodlord tucking in around there, so he's out of line of sight from my sniper fire. And the Scythed Hirodule is bundling all the way forward. You had to spend a command point on advancing the re-roll on the Malanthrope because you got a low dice roll.
Yep.
So you wanted to re-roll that so he could come further up. So there's a -1 to hit everything in his 3-inch bubble there. And we had some warriors coming out of a tunnel with a Trigon back there. Why have you dropped them in back there?
Because you screen good.
Okay, cool. And the Trigon's pretty quick anyway.
Yep. I think.
And it looks like you're trying to overload this flank here, and there isn't much defending it. There is a screen, there is some shooty robots, but that's all we've got coming down that tunnel. And here we have the Harrowspecs and the Warlord and the Hive Tyrant and the Hive Guard coming down this tunnel here. And then these guys popped up from tunnels as well. So tell me how this stratagem works.
So at the start of the game, I spent 3 command points for these 3 units: the Zoanthropes and the 2 Neurothropes.
That's it. Yeah.
There are many thropes. They you spend a command point for each unit, and you can put them in the tunnel that the Raveners will come up with.
Yeah.
And it works essentially the same as the rule that the Trigon has for troop units.
Okay.
Come on. So I brought the Raveners up here along with these units ready to smite things.
Cool, and that's a Jawmonger. I'm murdering these names, but that's a stratagem specific to that particular High Fleet adaptation, right? Cool, so they're up on this flank, so there's going to be a lot of smite washing in this way. So I've got some pressure on the left, some pressure on the right. Basically a lot of pressure is happening. A good screen at the moment for the Adeptus Mechanicus, but the screen won't be there for much longer. Now at the end of the movement phase, we've got to do the mortal wound shenanigans from the Morlock over here. Indeed. So we're going to roll a d6 and see what it does. Shall we do this one first?
This unit? Okay.
Yes.
d6 roll. That's
6.
3 mortal wounds.
Okay, a 1 is nothing, right?
Yep, 1 is nothing.
But a 6 is
6
flat
is
3
3
mortal wounds. I'll take them away in a minute. On my second in command?
That is 1 mortal wound.
Just 1 mortal
2
wound.
and 3 is 1 mortal wound.
Okay, and then on the onager?
Here we go. It's a 5. That is D3 mortal wounds.
D3 mortal wounds.
For 3.
3. Okay, so 3, 3, and 1.
Tasty.
He can't charge on the turn that he
That is
bundles up, but he can next turn burrow back down again and do it again if he
Yes.
survives.
Also worth noting that he is technically he hasn't advanced or charged, so
Yes.
he will get the benefit of cover.
Nice. I like it. Oh, I should mention as well that I rolled Snake Eyes for my Canticles of the Omnissiah, so I've got the one that allows me to re-roll morale checks for my Canticle, and that's it. Right, we're going to go into the Psychic phase. Where are we starting?
Let's start over here with a whole load of smites and psychic screams.
Okay.
What I'm actually going to do is start with one of the Neurothropes.
Nice.
We'll be smiting these guys here.
Okay. So you need a 5, and that's an 11, so that would be
Smite.
D6 damage. And that's 4, so only one of them is left alive. Ouch.
Okay, I will psychic scream him.
Yeah. Psychic Scream is a 5.
Yep, and
that
he's
passes. Yeah, and that will, Psychic Scream is like a smite. It does D3 mortal wounds. So just one of them wipes out this unit of Vanguard here with mind bullets. After that unit got wiped out, the second Neurothrope is doing the same thing. It's going to hit this unit here, the closest unit there. So we're smiting again, and it's a 5 because it's narrative and you rolled 11. D6, 3. 3 of them get killed. I pulled those 3 away there. Now in match play, you wouldn't be able to Psychic Scream again, but it's narrative, so you can Psychic Scream again because both of these have got Smite and Psychic Scream. And you need a 5, and that passes. D3 mortal wounds for 3 more mortal wounds. And this unit of Vanguard get wiped out. So 2 Psychers screaming already. The might of the hive mind kills 10 Vanguard with ease. Now we're on to Zoanthropes.
Yes.
And what are they doing?
So now this guy is the closest target, so I think we'll smite him.
Okay, let's smite
They only
again.
get 1 power because there's only 3 of them, but maybe it'll be an 11 again.
Maybe.
Hey, how about that?
D6 mortal wounds on the Dragoon. 6, which blows up on a 6.
Sorry.
And he blows up. And it will do 1 more. I'm going to have to command point that because otherwise they'll both lose mortal wounds. 6. Oh no. Does 1 mortal wound to that unit there. And what did you say?
That was more effective than I expected.
That was more effective than I expected as well. Yeah, so absolute destruction. Now the hive mind has burst up underground. Have we got any more psychic shenanigans coming on?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. What are we doing now?
So the Hive Tyrant,
Yes.
he has Horror, Catalyst, and Smite.
Right.
So he's going to put Catalyst on the Horror specs again.
Okay, you need a 6. And that passes.
Yep.
And he'll ignore wounds on a 5 up, right?
Okay, yep. And then he's going to, I think these guys are the closest target now, so there might be a bit of a smite going on.
Oh, no. You don't want to horrify them. -1 to hit. They only hit on 4s in the punchy phase.
That's a good point.
It's just out of range for smite, so they're going to get horrified instead on a 6. And that is a failure, unless you want to command point.
I'm not going to re-roll that.
No. Okay, so Catalyst on the Harrow specs, Horror specs, I'm murdering these words. Broodlord?
Broodlord, so he also has Horror.
Yes.
There's not really a lot he can see from there.
No.
So I guess he'll put it on the Dragoon, just in case.
Okay. Really?
Or I could smite it, maybe kill it.
You could smite it and kill it, and then it gives you...
More options.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Let's do that. Look, you didn't roll an 11, but you got a 10. D3 for 2.
So
it's down to 1 wound left. And then the bioacid spray from the Scythed Hero Duel smashes into the Dragoon. Auto hitting 2d6 for 5. Now this is strength 6 minus 2 d3 damage a time. So forced to wound.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, that'll do it. And if I fail a 6, he's dead. He is dead. Now, do I auto-explode him? I think I do.
Yeah.
So with 1 command point, with Machine Spirit Revenge, the Dragoon auto blew up, unlike that one over there, which I really didn't want to blow up. Put a wound on that thing. He's down to 21 left. Killed a gargoyle. Killed one of my own vanguard. And killed the Ripper Swarm over here. Mass explosion, mass destruction. Then coming across to this side of the battle grid, small arms fire from the troops unit slams into the robots, taking 2 wounds off of it. This one's down to 3 wounds left. And now the Hive Tyrant is firing with his...
it is the miasma cannon.
Miasma cannon, smashing at this robot here. So
D3 shots.
Nice.
2.
2 shots, yep.
Hitting on 3s.
Yep. And they both hit.
2 hits.
Strength.
Strength 9, so 3's to wound.
3's to wound. Toughness 6.
2 wounds.
AP minus
2 AP, and
minus
it's a flat
2.
3 damage.
Flat 3 damage. So I've got a 4-up and vulnerable save because the Aegis Protocol was in effect. But if I fail this, I'm going to lose that robot there. So
if you roll 6s, it's mortal wounds back at me.
Is it? Oh yeah, because of the repulsor grid. Thanks for reminding me. 4s. I failed them both. Does he explode? Because he doesn't explode, but he'll lose 3 wounds, and the other one will lose 3 wounds.
Nice.
Right, that went well. Now the last thing left to flyer is the warriors up on this gantry up here. What are we firing at, sir?
So these warriors here are firing their death spitters at this little unit.
Okay.
And the venom cannon at these robots.
At the robots, okay. What are we firing first?
Do the death spitters first.
Sure. Hitting on 3s?
Hitting on 4s for warriors.
Okay. Oh, eat.
Strength 5, so
Yep.
3's to wound.
1 wound.
It's
AP.
minus 1 AP.
Okay, I need a 5, which I get. And then
Venom cannon D3 shots. Just the 1.
Yep.
Hitting on a 4. No.
No.
And then we're doing exactly the same with this unit back here.
Okay, let's roll up again then.
Death spitters.
Yeah.
5 hits.
5 hits this time. 3's to wound.
3 wounds.
3 wounds. I need 5s. I make 1, so 2 in this squad will die. And then the venom cannon.
2 shots.
Yep.
1 hit.
Yep.
Strength 8.
And it
So
wounds.
minus 2 D3 damage.
Okay, so I need a 4 up and bun, which I fail, and it does D3 damage on the robots for 2 damage on the robots. And at the end of the shooting and psychic phase, it looks like this. Dragoon has gone, 3 in this squad has gone, and mainly it was Psychic Might that washed through the left flank over there. But losing a robot and losing all of that screen so easily, that was painful. And now, High Fleet Goliath is going to charge. Okay, we're in the charge phase. The Gene Stealers have declared a charge against the Vanguard, the robots, and the priests. I've done the Overwatch and killed 5 of them with the flamers, with the heavy incendiary combustors there. So let's roll up, see how far you need to get. I mean, you're auto into them, but you need 6s to hit the robots and 11 to get in on the priests. And that's a 4. Oh dear.
Command point on that.
Command point, definitely. And that's a 7. So you're at least in on the robots and the Vanguard. Let's move them up. Gene Stealers end up here. Now the Lord of War, this big bad boy, needs an 8 to charge this objective here. You've got a rule. You roll 3d6 and pick the 2 highest, right?
Correct.
That's nice.
He's in.
Yeah, that's a 12-inch charge. He is definitely in. And the bad boy ends up there. Now it's a 10-inch charge for the Malanthrope to get to the Vanguard. And they miss.
I am going to re-roll that because
Okay.
it's narrative. I can.
Yes.
I really want him to be up here to give these 2 units a -1 to hit in the shooting phase.
I see, yeah, tactics. And
Yeah.
that works. He gets a 12 as well. So yeah,
Hello.
that works really well because his 3-inch aura, you're right, -1 to hit everything around. Otherwise, this guy and the Gene Stealers would be a little exposed. Any more charges coming on, sir?
I think that's it.
So you're not going to charge with the little bugs into the robot over there?
No.
Why not? Why not?
Because it's a 10-inch charge and
Yes.
he's got a big flamer.
Okay, so you're probably going to fail and I might hurt you on the way
Yep.
in.
And when you did it in the GCs, I was 5, so...
Yes. All right, let's fight. Right, the Gene Stealers piled into close combat into the robots there, and we've started with the Gene Stealers. This guy hit the Vanguard, and there were 2 within an inch of him, so the Vanguard didn't last long. And now the Gene Stealers have ended up here. Now, what are we doing, and what are we...
So,
and the tail is in effect because the Brood Lord gives a what?
+1 to hit.
+1 to hit. So you're hitting on 2s instead of hitting on 3s.
Yep.
Nice. Right, what are we doing?
So I've got 3 in this scrum with acid maws.
Nice.
Which are AP -3. So I'm going
Yes.
to roll them first.
Yes.
Get 3 attacks each.
And because there's more
than 10 of them.
Yeah, more than 10, so they get extra attacks. Yep, I like it. Hitting on 2s. It's a beautiful thing.
And 5s and 6s to wound.
Yeah, because I'm toughness 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
AP minus
-3 on them.
-3. So I have a 2-up shave with the Aegis protocol right now.
Yep.
Which gets me to a 5-up save,
Yes.
I want to say. 5 ups.
That sounds right to me.
I
Nice.
make 3 of them.
So only 1 damage.
Only 1
but
damage
there's 1
each.
with 2 wounds left.
So he dies.
Does he go boom?
Does he go kablooey? Or I could auto kablooey him. It will hurt my priests. Yes, let's auto kablooey him with Machine Spirit Revenge.
Classic.
He's going to blow up, and he will do D3 mortal wounds to the Gene Stealers. For 3 mortal wounds to the Gene Stealers. He will do 3 mortal wounds to my own robot. Do you want to roll for hurting me?
Sure thing.
3 on the robot. And how many on the priests?
3.
3 on the priest. The priests ignore wounds on a 5-up. And 2 of them die. After it explodes, looks like this. Now we've got all the rending claws coming in on the last robot, hitting on 2s. There's a couple of 1s, but this is going to be extremely painful. Your strength 4?
They are strength 4, so wounding on 5s.
Yeah,
but 6s are nasty.
Yeah, 6s are AP minus very a lot.
-4.
Yeah. So you need 5s.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3 6s.
3 6s.
And
AP
then-
minus a lot.
So they're -4, and then 3 5s at -1.
Okay, so these are the 6s. I need 6s. I don't get any. That robot dies. Now you'll notice that I pulled the priests away from there because he's going to blow up as well. He's going to go auto kaboom with Machine Spirit Revenge, which will do another D3 mortal wounds on your Gene Stealers. Looking for a big 3 for 1. Do I spend another command point? That'll be 3 command points because I blew up, and another command point to reroll. I've got a chunk left. Why the hell not? 1. There's
That's
1
why
more
not.
Gene Stealers, yeah. After all those crazy explosions, the Gene Stealers choose to pile into the priests. Why are you doing that, Dan? What's going on?
Well, I'm hoping I can take a good chunk out of them before they kill a unit to power up and get a 3-up invulnerable save.
Nice. So at the end of the fight phase, there's a 3-point stratagem you can use.
Yes, to make the Gene Stealers fight again.
Yes, and because you selected them as the target of the charge, then once we've done all the fights, I'll be able to hit my priests, which will be quite painful. Right, next up we've got this Lord of War smacking the first of the containers. Now you've got to get more than 5 hits.
I think so.
And I think he starts off with how many? 7 or something?
I think he has 7 attack. Yeah, I think he's got 6 on his profile, and then an extra 1 for having 2 sets of sniper talons.
Okay.
No, he's got 7 on his profile.
And then an extra,
Then an extra
1.
So he has 8 attacks.
Nice.
Hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it, gone. Right, now who's going to roll the d6s for this? Because it's going to be 1d6 for the range and 1d6 for the damage. Well, seeing as your stuff, you do the range, I'll do the damage because your stuff is
range.
closer. Range is 6. This is going to be a big bada boom. This is going to hurt. How much damage? I'll roll 1 dice and everything will take this number of mortal wounds, which will be the Vanguard, your Lord of War, your Malanthrope, the Gene Stealers. This could be painful. 2.
And the Ripper Swarms.
And the Ripper Swarms. It's not that painful. Tremors and aftershocks rumble through the chemical plant. The first of the objectives falls. Tyranids are here. Now the Electro Priests pile in and fight back under the flames, under the filth, while smoke fills the air. I've got 8 priests left. They've got 2 attacks each. And I'm hitting on 3s. And they've got a strength of +2. Basically, I'm wounding on 3s, but the thing about priests is, any 6s I get do D3 mortal wounds instead of the normal damage. And these Gene Stealers have taken a pounding. There was a unit of 20 there. So I'm really looking for these 6s. And I get 3 6s. Ouch. So there's going to be 4 saves to make. Do you want to make them first? Of a 5-up lightning reflexes.
2
Would
die.
you make 2 of them? And then these are D3 mortal wounds each. And you lose another 7. And the priests of the Penitent Forge have wiped out that unit of Gene Stealers. Maybe piling into them was a bad idea. Mind you, I spent a lot of command points blowing up robots, plus the objective blew up beside, doing mortal wound after mortal wound to the Gene Stealers. Then I consolidate closer towards that Malanthrope, that HQ there. And that's the end of turn 1 for the Tyranids. You've got no morale turn 2, yeah. No morale test to take anywhere because you're in Synapse. And no morale test for me because I didn't lose enough casualties in the units that suffer casualties, except for where you wipe them out. So an absolute power of psychic energy on the left flank smashed through my lines on this flank. I don't know, it was a mixed bag, a mixed fortune. At least he's within range of that, so it's going to be -1 to hit him when I'm shooting at you. But yeah, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that psychic battery on the left flank or the priest wiping out the Gene Stealers. But you do get D3 points for taking out one of these objectives. Do you want to roll up? Let's see what you get. Good luck, sir. For
Just
one.
the one.
Just one. So at the moment I've got a minimum of 4 because it's going to be D3 each. And you've got 1 point. So
hard fought 1 point.
A very hard fought 1 point. You lost your Gene Stealers to do it. Now the Penitent Forge need to respond. So let's go on to Admech. Turn 2. Here we are after the movement phase for the Penitent Forge, and despite taking out that unit of Gene Stealers and the Tyranofex, it's troubling. I don't have a massive amount of assets left. I think I've got some strength. I think I've got some power on this right flank here, but the left flank, not so much. Now, because the priest killed something in close combat, they've got a 3-up invulnerable save now. I could charge the nasty Lord of War, but it's got that Titanic keyword, so it's never tied up. It can move on and can charge a second thing. So there's no point in charging that. Instead, the priests will go bundling into that Malanthrope.
Malanthrope.
Yeah, and take him out and stop it buffing everything around. I think that's the best thing for the priests. And talking about getting a 3-up invulnerable save, they start off with a 5. If they kill something in an assault phase, they get a 3-up. So I need to kill this Morlock with the second unit and give them a 3-up invulnerable save. But I'm going to have to tickle it with a few guns first. So that's the plan here. And it is only turn 2?
Yes.
For me. So I know I'll expose this part, but in turn 3, 4, I should be able to get the priests back over there. That's the plan. At the end of the movement phase, he can heal himself D3 wounds, so he's back up to full, and he can heal D3 wounds with his Master of Machines ability on the Onager, which lost 3 wounds. And that Onager's back up to full wounds, so that's very good. He's also got the Auto Carduceus of Arcan Land, so I could have potentially re-rolled that if I needed to. So quite a bit of pressure, quite a bit of good stuff on this flank. But when we get round to the other flank, I've got 2 units of destroyers and a really injured robot, and I put 1 wound back on him with the Engine Seer. That is a vehicle. The Engine Seer can only heal vehicles, so he's done that. But round this flank, not so much. And we saw what the Psychic Mind Bullets of High Fleet Goliath could do last turn. And there's the Horror Specs, and there's the Hive Tyrant. Round this flank is looking quite weak. But it is only turn 2. But round this flank are these 3 objectives here. So there's still a long way to go. Still everything to play for. Let's go on to Admech, shooting phase. In the shooting phase, some small arms thumped into the Termagants there from the front line. Back here, this unit of destroyers are too far out of range. I don't know why I put them back there. Very silly thing to do. But this unit of destroyers are in range. Now, I could pick on the Horror Specs, but we saw what psychic might the Hive Mind could bring to bear last turn. So I think I'm going to start off by shooting at these Neurothropes, Zoanthropes. The Phosphor Blasters are out of range, but their Plasma Culverins are in range, these big guns on their arm. And they have D6 shots each. So this is the number of shots. 1 hits 4 times, 1 hits 3 times. I should mention I'm overcooking. Always overcooking. So hitting on 4s and re-rolling 1s. Or re-rolling all the dice because of Belisarius Call, aka Designate 17. So that's pretty good. They all hit. And these 3 shots will hit on 4s and reroll 1s. Everything hits.
Nice.
This gets me up to strength 8 and your toughness 4.
Yep.
So I'm wounding on 4s, but you
2s.
do have a 3 up and vulnerable save. Yeah, wounding on 2s. Yep. That many wounds. 3 up and vulnerable
6.
save, 2 damage each.
Yeah, they've got 3 wounds each, so
3 up in vuns.
Oh.
And, oh dear. So they've got 3 wounds each.
yep.
So, yeah,
2 dead.
that's 2 dead. Nice, that worked. But let's just face it, one of them is just as effective as 3 of them, right? He can still do the same psychic stuff, but I'm beginning to nibble away. Right, round here, what to shoot at, what to shoot at. I want to tickle this without firing neutron lasers at it, so then I can put the neutron lasers into the big Lord of War there. So let's fire some guns first. Let's put these arc rifles and arc pistols up into the Morlock. One's got a pistol, 2 arc rifles, so that's 5 shots firing up at the Morlock, hitting on 3s. And I only hit once. Strength 6 versus toughness 6. And I don't even wound. Let's face it, these guys are covered in toxic filth. They're probably melting. Volkite blaster from there up. It's a heavy gun. I would be hitting on 2s. He moved, so he's hitting on 3s.
Reroll 1s.
And reroll 1s. Oh yeah, he's in range of himself. Strength 6, toughness 6. Wounding on 4s. 1 wound. AP nothing.
Saved because I am in cover.
Oh yeah, of course, because normally you'd have a 3 up,
Yep.
but because you didn't advance, you didn't charge because of Jawmonger, you save it. All right, let's fire this squad at it. One of the guys here is not in rapid fire range, so that's 5 shots coming in on the Morlock, hitting on 3s, and I'm re-rolling because I am in range of D17. And I'm going to need 5s to wound. Strength 4 versus toughness 6. And 6 is a AP -1. So 3 wounds, 3 2-up saves on that.
1 wound goes through.
Scratch the paintwork. And now let's do the 2 transuranic arquebuses into him. 3s to hit. Re-rolling everything because of Belisar is cool, aka designate 17. 2 hits. This is strength 7 -2 AP, so I need 3s to wound. Nothing. Right, okay, I'm going to have to put some big guns, some neutron lasers into it. Right, I'm firing this Onager first. I fired the Cognus into him, didn't do any damage. And now I'm going to fire the neutron laser, backed up by the commands from the Noosphere from designate 17. Number of shots, D3, 1 shot again. Let's command point reroll that. For 1 shot, oh no, it's hitting on a 3. That's a hit. Strength 10. Wounds on a 3. Doesn't wound. This is not going to plan. Right, second one firing at him. He's got 11 wounds left. I can't... Right, he's got 11 wounds left. I can't rely on the priests taking him out. So I have to fire this second one at him. I really want to fire at that big target up there. So I did the Cognus Stubbers. Didn't do anything. Now let's do the neutron laser. D3 shots. For 3 shots. That's a bit better. Hitting on 3s, and I'm re-rolling 1s because I'm right next to a tech priest there. So only 1 hit. Brilliant. Strength 10. Strength 10. It doesn't wound. Right, the Omnissar is telling me not to shoot any more shots into him because the priest can definitely take him out. That's what he's said. Definitely. So I'm going to fire this one up at that thing there. I've done the Cognus Stubbers. They didn't do anything. Let's fire the neutron laser at this big nasty Lord of War before he kills everything in my army. D3 shots. 3 shots. You see, Omnissar is listening to me. This is hitting on 4s because of the -1 because of the Malanthrope. And I'm re-rolling 1s because of the Engine Seer. 2 hits. See? Strength 10, toughness 8. I need 3s to wound. This is where I roll 2 2s. No, I did
2 wounds.
2 wounds. AP -4.
Okay.
He charged.
He did charge, so he doesn't get cover save, so let's just go straight through.
Go straight through. Nice. D6 damage a time. This could sting. Why wasn't I firing at him earlier? 7 wounds.
Okay, that puts him down to 12.
12 left. Is he degraded?
He is not quite degraded. It's 6 to 10 for his middle profile.
Okay. And that is the end of my shooting phase. Haven't degraded that. I killed a few gaunts. I killed a few psychic brains floating on the other side of the battle grid. That's it. That was pitiful. Now the priests need to make up for it in the charge phase. So the priests make their charge move into these two targets, selecting this unit to fight first. Now after they've charged, they have the chance to do some mortal wounds. You roll a dice for every unit in the model, and on 6s it will do mortal wounds to this Morlock. So looking for a bunch of 6s here, and I don't get any. And now 9 of the priests can fight, so this is 18 attacks. 3s to hit. That was 10 hits. I'm strength 5 versus toughness 6, so it's 5s to wound, but 6s do mortal wounds instead. So I get 1 6 and 3 other wounds. Right, so 3 saves at -2, so that's 5s. Oh, you failed them all. And each of these actually does D3 damage. So this is the number of damage from the normal attacks, which is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yep.
And then I get D3 mortal wounds from that 6. So 7 plus another 2 is 9. And puts them
2
all,
wounds.
yeah, out, down, but not out. That's the end of that attack. Now we're going on to these attacks, unless you'd like to pay to interrupt.
No, thank you.
Okay. This is where the priests end up after they pile in at the end of the charge phase. Should have done this earlier. 6s cause mortal wounds. So that's 1 mortal wound, putting it down to 6 left. Right, this thing has got a 5-up save, and my attacks are AP -2. So any attacks that I get through, you won't get a save against. So 3s to hit. And I am strength 5 versus toughness 5.
Correct.
Nice. So then it will be 3s to wound. And 6s, 4s to wound, sorry, yeah, and 6s do D3 mortal wounds instead of. So look at that, there's 3 6s there. I'll roll them first because it might kill you. You've only got 6 wounds left. And it does kill you. The Malanthrope goes down. And you know what? I'm definitely not going to consolidate 3 inches towards the closest enemy unit. Now we go back to the Morlock, striking these priests back again. So what's going on here?
So effectively he has 7 attacks plus 1 for 2 or more sets of Scything Talons.
Yes.
One of his attacks has to be used with his Biostatic Rattle, and the other has to be used with his Distentable Jaws.
Okay.
I'll do the Scything Talon ones first.
Right.
He hits on... He's now degraded.
Right.
So his weapon skill is now 6.
Does he still always have those extra attacks though?
Yes.
Okay, nice. So weapon skill 6?
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, 6s to hit.
Rerolling 1s though, because it's Scything Talons.
Yes.
Nope, 1 hit. And he's strength 4 currently. So.
Okay, 3s to wound.
So
There's a wound. I have a
No
5
save modifier.
And how much damage?
Just the 1.
5 ignore wounds. You do kill a priest.
Okay, then he's got his Rattle.
Okay, 6.
Hitting on 6s.
Nope.
Nope. And his Jaws. Nope.
No. So he does kill a priest. And then I'm going to spend 3 command points for Zealous Congregation, and the priests will fight again. And the priests slay the Morlock, and I've only got 3 command points left, but at least all of my priests now have a 3-up invulnerable save because they killed something in the fight phase. And that's the end of Adeptus Mechanicus turn 2, and there is a thin line of steel and grey and machine and oil. And we're about to get wave 3, turn 3 of High Fleet Goliath as it charges into this chemical complex. Here we are after High Fleet Goliath's turn 3 movement phase. The swarm advance on the left. What am I looking at here? Red Tooth, what's going on?
So let's start here. The Cytirigal has run over here. He's just in his top bracket still, so I'm going to make use of him while I can.
Yes.
He's going to try and charge here, kill an objective, kill a Onika June Caller.
Kill them both.
We'll see what we can do.
He does like D6 damage or something.
He does indeed, and I can spend 3 command points to attack again with him.
Oh, nice.
So I might kill that, then kill that.
Nice. And you've got 6 left.
Oh, indeed.
As it is. So taking out an Onager and him taking out 2 objectives before he falls, that's very,
I'm pretty
very
sure he will fall after
because of the priests.
I think it's probably worth it.
Yeah, because as we spoke in between turns there, it doesn't really matter if you've got 1 or 2 models left at the end of the game. If you take out multiple objectives, say you take out 1, 2, 3, 4 objectives, minimum D3. Even if you got 1, 1, 1, 1, I can't win unless I hold on to 1 and roll a fat 3 and take out your warlord as well. So it doesn't matter how badly this game goes for you in terms of models. You just need to destroy these objectives. The hive mind doesn't care whether all of these bugs get slaughtered. What it cares about is chemical filth getting erupted into the atmosphere.
They're all going to be digested down into goo at the end anyway, so it
Exactly.
doesn't really matter.
Exactly. Yeah, the whole planet is good now.
Just speeding up the process.
Yeah, I like it. We got Trigon, we got Broodlore coming through.
This is a bit of a problem. I'm going to try and make it go away.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah. Well, you got Shooty up here as well, right? And
These two
Shooty with the
Shooties.
warriors.
Trigon's got a little bit of Shooty as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And we've got Psychic here.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, they might have a 3-up invulnerable save, but you don't get your save against Smite.
Speaking of Smite, these guys have moved up a bit. There's a nice tasty robot there that wants to get blasted in the face.
Yeah.
The gaunt screen has moved forward.
Yeah.
The monsters have moved forward.
And there's your warlord.
Yes, indeed. And I'm hopefully will be able to overload this and get this objective as well.
Before we go into the psychic phase, we did Canticles on the Omnissiah. I've got Shroud Psalm in effect, so +1 to my cover save. And I've got Incantation of Iron. So I got the And They Shall Know No Fear again, reroll morale. So, Psychic, where are we starting?
Starting with the Broodlord. I've spent a command point already to do the Power of the Hive Mind. I think I'm supposed to do it at the end of the phase.
Right, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. I'm going to do it anyway. He's going to cast Smite and the Horror on this unit here.
Yeah, because normally he can only cast 1 psychic power, but with that stratagem you can cast 2.
Yep.
Okay, so let's smite away like we did last summer.
Ideally like we did. Yeah, hello.
There's an 11. You keep rolling them. And that's only 1 command point? Do you want to
That is a command point, yep.
Oh, sorry. Hits the floor. So that's 6. It's the fat 6. Smite normally does D3 damage, but if you get over 10, it does D6. So 6, 5 up, ignore wounds on these guys. You can take it on mortal wounds. And I only ignore 1. That was painful. What was that, Red Tooth?
Apparently my Hive adaptation is I always roll 11 for Smite.
Yeah, it seems to be. Their psychic mastery is masterful. Is that a thing?
It is indeed masterful. Masterfully masterful.
Yeah, that's right. Let's do some horror.
Okay, let's make them more scared.
No, and that's D3 more wounds to you.
I think I'll spend another command point
This
there.
is an expensive psychic phase.
Isn't it just?
Right, that passes. You needed more than a 6. And that gives them -1 leadership, which is going to be painful because you've already killed 5.
And -1 to hit.
Yeah, I'll leave a dice next to them so we remember that. So, starting with a Hive Tyrant. He's doing what?
He is going to smite the closest target, which is this robot.
Okay. Need a 5. That's a 10. Nearly an 11.
That's not an 11.
D3 mortal wounds. 3 mortal wounds. The robot's down to 1 wound left. And what's the other power?
Then he's going to cast Catalyst on the Horror Specs again.
Okay, nice. And you needed 6. That passes. So Catalyst on the Horror Specs. The robot's on 1 wound left. More psychic shenanigans. So we're on to this last brain bug here from the unit of 3.
The Zoanthrope will get his revenge for the smite.
Yes. And he doesn't. You needed a... Oh no, you reroll 1s. He's got an innate...
The Neurothropes that reroll 1s. I don't think the Zoanthropes do.
I think he does. Yeah, the Neurothropes have an ability, Warp Siphon, which passes out to the Zoanthrope. So you can reroll that 1 for free. And that works, and that will be D3 mortal wounds on the robot. That's a dead robot. Does he go pop? No, he doesn't go pop. And that leaves the Engine's ear stood there and rather exposed. And his brain gets melted by one of the Neurothropes, which allows the other Neurothrope to smite and psychic scream this Dragoon down here. So smiting away. Passes D3 for 3. Yeah, you guys know what you're doing with these mind bullets. And now psychic scream passes on a 5 D3 for 3 more. Perfect, because they only have 6 wounds. And does it go bang? It doesn't explode. And again, there's just a wall of psychic energy coming down this left flank, and nothing, but nothing can stand in its way. Right, that went well. Killing 5 priests and killing all of them quite easily. You should, yeah, that went very well.
It did.
High Fleet Goliath will be famed for its psychic mastery. Right, let's go on to the shooting phase. Where do you want to start, sir?
I think we'll start with the Scythe Tyranid
Yes.
shooting bioacid at the Honest Junker.
Okay, so 2d6 acidic bio... Oh, 3. Okay, right, fair enough. Auto hitting, wounding on 5. So that's 2 wounds, minus 2.
D3 damage.
I don't save any, so 2d3 damage is 6. Target lock. This thing is down to 5 wounds left. He's going to find it very easy to crack open both the Onager and the objective in the charge phase. Next up in the shooting phase, the warriors picked on the priests down here, killing one of them. That's both of those units. And then the venom cannons came through and destroyed this Onager Dune Crawler, which kept the Horodul slightly annoyed because he wanted to nom it. Instead, he's going to have to nom some chemicals instead. So Dune Crawler down. First of my big guns has gone. Then we had a barrage of small bugs shooting into the unit of rangers here, killing 2 of them. Shroud's Arm keeping them safe. Next up we have the miasma cannon from the Hive Tyrant coming in at the destroyers. So, number of shots.
3 shots.
Nice.
3s to hit.
Nice.
All 3 hit. Strength 9.
Toughness 5.
3s to wound. They're infantry, aren't they?
Yes.
The miasma cannon always wins infantry on a 2-up.
Nice. AP?
It's AP minus 2.
Okay. Right, I would have a 6-up save, but with Shroud's Arm, it's a 5-up save. And I failed them all. How much damage does this
It's a
do?
flat 3.
Is it?
Yeah.
You wipe out that unit of destroyers. Nice. And that's the end of the shooting and the psychic phase for High Fleet Goliath. And that was painful. Losing an Onager, losing my priests, losing the robots, losing the front screen, and the destroyers in the backfield. When we look across the table, I've got a unit of destroyers here and a couple of Onagers back there and some infantry. And you've still got some big threats left. The Lord of War, the Trigon, the Broodlord, and the Haruspex, the Hive Tyrant, and the Psychic Might, the unstoppable Psychic Tsunami on the left flank. That could be a turning point in this game. Now let's go on to the charge phase. So the Termagants have declared a charge against the Rangers and against this objective, the big vat of goo. I managed to kill 1 in Overwatch, and now you need a 7 inches to engage either of those targets. And that's the 7. They're going to be in. And the Termagants come charging forward. Is this another objective that's going to fall? We shall have to find out. The Raveners also tried to get in on the big vat of goo, and they failed their charge. Across here, the Broodlord has engaged the last 2 Electro Priests, and then the Scythe Horodul piling forward, deciding to leave that unit of Vanguard back there and charging straight up, engaging this target, the objective, and staring down my second in command, who's slightly terrified. The Trigon's trying to get in at those priests as well to slingshot further forward. I think it's an 8, isn't it? But you've got adrenal glands, so you need a 7. And that's an 9, sorry. So he comes bundling forward as well. So we have successful charges all the way across the line for the Tyranids. Let's go on to the fight phase. Starting off the fight phase, the Trigon attacking the Electro Priest. 6 attacks plus 1 attack for his tail. So 6 attacks going into the Electro Priests. And they reroll
1 because Simon Talons.
That's what they do.
3s to hit.
Yep.
And then it's strength 7.
Toughness 3.
2s to wound then. There we go. It's minus lots, but it doesn't matter.
Okay, 3 up. Invulnerable save to keep these priests alive. I failed 2, and it does d6 damage at a time, right?
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
First one, 5.
5, feel no pains. You're dead.
Second one, 1.
Oh, will 1 stay alive? 5 up. No. Then the Trigon consolidated 3 inches forward towards the closest enemy unit. Now, Redtooth could then select the Broodlord because he did charge this turn and pile in 3 inches and consolidate 3 inches and get 6 inches closer up the line if he wants to. It's perfectly legal, but you're not doing that because he's a character, and this way he stays back. This way he stays safe and can't be targeted. Right, let's go on to this fight phase. Over here, little bugs versus a big vat of goo and my rangers. The termagants pile in. We've got 13 attacks coming in against these rangers here. They're hitting on 4s, which is pretty good. And you're strength 3, but I'm only toughness 3, so you are wounding on 4s. Actually, that was bad. 4 wounds?
4 wounds.
4 wounds.
Will do.
4 4-up saves. And I lose 3 of them anyway, and that's the squad. And then how many was it against the vat? 9. 9 against this vat. Now you need more than 6 hits.
More than 5.
More than 5 hits, that's right.
Hits, so, but it's forced to hit, so...
Yeah, and then this one goes as well.
Let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, you were just looking over there. I do have command points left.
3 command points left.
So what? It's narrative. What I could do is just splurge all 3 and rig all 3 of them.
You could.
Just to make sure.
Or you could do one after the other after the other.
I think we're going to have to spend at least 1 command point
Okay.
here, aren't we? It's got to be done.
No.
2 command points. Yes.
And you're down to 1 command point left, and this objective falls. Right, the range doesn't matter because there won't be anything within range and it won't hurt that one. But the damage does matter. So this will do d6 bugs. How many bugs?
-1.
-1, that's right, yeah, because you're beginning to adapt. So this is going to be -1 to them, which will be -2 to him when he hits that one. So d6 -1 bugs go. 4 bugs get covered in goo. And 2 objectives has fallen. The air fills with more toxic chemical filth. Now this thing striking the 3rd objective. And that's more than 6. And that's going to go pop as well. Do you want to roll d6 for the range?
Sure thing.
2. Only 2 inches. And then I'm going to roll d6 for the damage. This could be very painful to both of us. Let's see how much filth there were in those containers. Were they just empty, a little bit floating in the bottom? Or is this going to be the big 6? 1. No, they were empty. And when the barrels went boom, one of the priests got taken out because of the hive fleet adaptation, because of the chemical adaptation. The Lord of War there takes no wounds whatsoever. And that's the end of Tyranid's turn 3, and that was a very, very effective turn. We can see just how far back the Penitent Forge have been pushed. And you've taken out 3 of these objectives. That's very nasty. You've still got some big bugs in the backfield, and I've got no screen in front of these protecting them from further attacks. I'm going to have to unload everything into at least this squad here. I might be able to kill them, and then these further units might be too far back to charge. Right, so the Tyranids had 1 point for that objective there, but they get 2d3 points for these other objectives. Looking for big money here for the Tyranids. And that's a 3, so it's 4 points to 0 at the moment in favour of High Fleet Goliath. The Penitent Forge cannot allow them to take out any more of these objectives, or this planet will be destroyed. Here we are after the movement phase for the Penitent Forge. This complex is filling up with filth, and they are definitely on the back foot. Remembered to move the destroyers for the first time, and I remembered I had some infiltrators in reserve. It looks like they've been hiding in amongst these barrels, probably inspecting the goo for the last couple of turns. And I need to try and clear away at least a chunk of these little guys so that they can't get more than 5 hits on the last 2 objectives that I am holding on to. Had to advance the priests. Now, I could have sent the priests into close combat against the side Herodru, the big thing over there. But that means in turn 4 I'd have been over here, and then in turn 5 I'd have been back there. I'd have been out of the fight and away from the objectives. So I'm going to need to rely on the guns taking down that monstrosity. Instead, the priests advanced back this way, so in turn 4 or turn 5 I can be back over here. That's the method to it, and that's why the remaining infantry units are circling the big monstrosity, and that's it. Now I need to pull the trigger. So these rangers on the generator, fired small arms into the big thing here, doing nothing whatsoever. Now the 2 transuranic arquebuses are going up the field at the Broodlord, hitting on 3s. And it's strength 7, so I'm going to be wounding on 3s. And that's 2 wounds, AP -2, and each does D3 damage on that Broodlord.
5 up and vulnerable saves.
Yes. Lightning reflexes, he dodges right and left and avoids one of them. D3 damage for only 1 damage. It's down to 3 left. Now the Data Smith, firing his gamma pistol in at the big thing, hits on a 3, and it's strength 6, so wounds on a 5, and that's a wound. It's -3 AP, 2 damage, so you need a 6-up save, which you fail. It's down to 10 left. Now the Dominus will fire its Volkite blaster in at him. He'll hit on 3s because he moved. They all hit. It is strength 6, but any 6s do mortal wounds instead or in addition. So I need 5s. I get 1. You get your full save, which you make. So still on 10 wounds left. Now I've got this squad here in rapid fire range, and I'm re-rolling hit rolls of 1 because I'm stood next to the Dominus. Must take this Behemoth down. So 3s to hit, re-rolling 1s, I roll 4 2s. I need a 5 to wound. I don't wound. So that did nothing. Then I fired the radium carbine from this Vanguard in, didn't do anything. Now I've got a plasma caliber and I'm overcharging it because I am in range of D17. So 3s to hit and re-rolling all failed shooting attacks. Only 1 hit. It does get me up to strength 8 versus toughness 8, which doesn't wound. Right, that's all the shots from the surrounding units into him. I will charge him if I don't take him out. 10 wounds to get through. So now we're on to the first Onaga Dune Crawler. And I've spent a command point getting his ballistic skill up to a 2-up. I put the Cognis Stubbers into the squad of little Gribblies back there, killing 4 of them. And now I'm going to fire the neutron laser into this big thing here, hoping I don't roll a 1-2, because it's D3 shots for 1 shot. I am hitting on a... do I want to spend a command point? I could spend another command point getting his shots up, you see. I've got 2 left. So no, I'll leave it with 1. Let's re-roll it. Let's re-roll it. I have 2 shots instead. Totally worth it. Hitting on 2s now because I spent the command point. They both hit.
Spent.
And it's strength 10 versus toughness 8. Wounding on 3s. 1 command point left. I need these to go through. And they both go through.
Don't have a save against that.
No, you don't.
So
-4. So 10 wounds, D6 damage. I want to roll this like you roll Smite. Let's see if this works. And it's 9. He's got 1 wound left. Right, I got 1 Onaga left. And that's on 1 wound left. He's got nasty Overwatch, but he's got an Omniscient Axe. He's got a Power Fist. There's a Taser Goat there. If I make the charge, all I've got to do is take 1 wound off of him. And he's dead. How hard can that be?
How hard can it be?
How hard can it be? So I will charge you instead and use the Onaga, the second guy here, which I moved purposely all the way over there to be within 9-inch range of Belisarius Call. I'm going to use him to fire little gun at the little Gribblies and neutron laser at the Trigon because he's big, he's nasty, and he's coming straight for me. So D3 shots, neutron laser at that for 1 shot. Hitting on a 3, re-rolling because of D17. That wounds, hits and wounds on a 3. That wounds. You don't get a save, and this will do D6 damage. For 5 damage. I think they start off with 12.
Yeah, 12, yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so that was okay. And then the Stubbers took out 2 more little Gribblies. Now we're on to the Infiltrators here. I am in range to re-roll because of D17. And I've got 25 shots with their Flechette blasters. They're basically mini Uzis. 25 shots firing into these bugs here, hitting on 3s and re-rolling, but wounding on 4s. I did 13 wounds. That's 13 6-up saves to make. And you only rolled 3. You rolled 3. 10 more get wiped out. Then I put the phosphors from the destroyers into them, and there's 1 left in that squad. Now, the remaining shots from the destroyers, I got 3 big guns. These things, these Raveners, move 12, so I need to slow them down, but not necessarily kill them. As long as there's only 1 left in the unit, they shouldn't be able to wreck one of these objectives. So I'm going to put 2 plasma calibers into one of them, into that squad, into the Raveners, and one of the plasma calibers across into the Trigon. So let's do the shots on the Trigon. D6 is 6. And I'm hitting on 4s, and I'm re-rolling to hit because of designate 17. So 4s to hit.
Ooh.
Now I'm not going to re-roll that because 5 hits is enough. And that might turn into a 1. And because I've overcooked them, I am overcharging. I could kill myself.
Very wise.
So, strength 8, toughness 6,
Yep.
3s to wound, no save, 2 damage a time.
-3.
Minus 3? Oh yeah, you'll get 6.
Get 6
Yes. So 3s to wound,
Make all the difference.
3 wounds, 3 6s.
On a
he
single
fell.
one.
And it's down to 1 wound left, which is good. He's not dead, but he's nerfed.
Pretty
Right.
poorly.
2 D3 shots into the Raveners over there. I get 6 shots and 6 shots. And I did the rolling off camera because I thought it was inevitable after I got 12 shots in that Raveners would be wiped out, but apparently not. There's 1 left alive. And I killed one of my destroyers because the overcooked plasma went off in his face. And that's the end of my shooting phase. At least I've cleared away some of the screen and pushing these enemy Tyranids back. Now I need to charge. So my tech priest will eat the overwatch. And you get 2d6 auto hits with your flamer. For 9 auto hits with the flamer. Now this is gonna, strength 6, so it's gonna wound on 3s.
Yep.
And it's AP -2, right?
Yep.
So I've got a bunch of, I have a 2-up save normally. So I've got,
Did you have Shroud Song?
I've got a Shroud Summon, yeah,
so
you're
you've
right.
effectively got a 1-up save.
Yeah, so back to a 3-up save, nice. Didn't help very much. I take 2d3 wounds.
Correct.
For 6. 6. He's wiped out. Oh dear. Oh dear. Let's do it again. The Data Smith is charging in. Please don't do it again. When I say do it again, don't do it again. 4. Okay. 4 auto hits. Strength 6.
4 wounds.
4 wounds. Right, I effectively have a 1-up save because the Shroud Summon is a 2-up, comes a 1-up. -2 is a 3-up. I need to make one of these saves. I make one of them. D3, mortal wounds, he will live.
Just the one.
Just the one. And now I need to make the charge. Otherwise these guys will eat some Overwatch and die. That's a 7. They are in. Right. The Data Smith makes it in, probably clambering past the body of the second in command. After he got filled with acidic vomit. He's got a power fist. This needs to hit 2 attacks. 1 wound left. Hitting on 4s. And they both miss. I have to spend my last command point because this can break free and keep rampaging. I have to spend my last command point. 4s. And it misses. Oh no. So the Alpha? Can the Alpha do this? Dude, if you manage to do this with your Taser Goad, you're going to get a name like GSO1. 2 attacks with a Taser Goad hitting on 4s. No, you can't do it.
So, you know.
And 2 other little guys hitting on 4s. They hit, but I need 6s. I need 6s to try and take this thing out because they've basically got pocket knives. I get 1 6. 1 3-up save. Oh, and you've got a command point left. Are you going to spend it? Are you going to spend
it? Yes, I think I am.
You are?
I think it's got to be done.
Okay. 3. You managed to keep it alive. We've burnt all of our command points. And now this big, nasty brute gets to fight back. Now he is severely damaged, this Horodril, that thing. So he's got how many attacks?
He only has 3. Well, actually, he's got 4 because he has 2 sets of sides.
Okay, 4 attacks and he hits on 5s now.
Yeah.
Where are you putting them?
All on the Data Smith.
Yeah, I would.
He's got a power fist.
Okay, 5s to hit. Re-rolling 1s because they're pairs of silent talons. See, 3 hits anyway. Is he still strength 10?
He's still strength 10.
Wounding on 2s.
2 wounds. It's -3 saves.
Okay, so I've got a 5-up refractor field anyway. And I failed them both. And that's 2d6 damage. And that Data Smith just gets turned to paste.
Nom 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 nom.
And that's the end of Adeptus Mechanicus turn 3. No morale tests to take for the Tyranid Horde because they're still in synapse everywhere. I have put a little bit of a buffer in between me and this Tyranid force, but the Trigon's very quick. Mind you, its movement might be slowed down because it's 1 wound left. That Ravener can move 12, but it probably won't be able to put enough attacks into one of these objectives yet. So I might have bought myself a turn. I might have bought myself a turn before these 2 silos get ripped open, potentially. So let's go into Tyranids. Turn 4. Right, before we do anything, this is what I rolled for my canticles of the Omnissiah. So Chant of the Remorseless Fist, re-roll hit rolls of 1 in the fight phase, and a 2 is Litanies of the Electromancer. Now, any enemy unit, like this big bug, that is within an inch of me, will suffer a mortal wound on a 6 as the motive force erupts through me. Will the Omnissiah himself
Not nervous.
be able to take down this big, nasty bug? All I need is a 6. How hard can it be? Oh, it was nice. It was a nice idea. It would have been a beautiful thing, but it was not to be. Here we are after the Tyranid movement phase, and the noose closes in on the last 2 objectives. This Lord of War can break out of combat and charge and shoot. Now his movement's only down to 5, but his flamer, this thing on the back, the acid spray, will not be affected because it auto hits its target. The Trigon as well can only move 5. He's nerfed, but he's making his way up the table. Broodlord can advance and charge, and I think it's 7 inches to objective number 4. So that's quite easy. The Haruspex has got adrenal glands, and that'll be a 10-inch charge to objective number 4 as well. And if they take this objective out, then I'm going to need to slay the Warlord to win this game. And then over here, the Psychic Wall, the Unstoppable Tsunami, comes forward as well. So let's go on to the Psychic phase and watch Red Tooth roll a bunch of 11s. Okay, so we've got Smites and Psychic Screams coming in on the Infiltrators here. Which one are we doing first?
So we'll start with this Neurothrope.
Yes.
Because this one is just out of range.
Okay.
He's going to cast Smite and then Psychic Scream on the Infiltrators.
Nice. That's...
I can't do anything about it.
There's no command points.
It's D6.
It's
D6.
I'll
do the D3 for myself first.
Yes. So
3,
he takes
okay.
3 mortal wounds, and then it does D6 damage on him. So one of the Infiltrators dies, and the Neurothrope gets a wound back for every model that dies. Right, next one. What are we doing?
Psychic Screech.
Psychic Screech. You need 5. And that passes, and this will do D3 mortal wounds for 2. And another one dies.
And it gets another wound back.
Yes. And now the Neurothrope.
The Zoanthrope. Lone Zoanthrope is going to smite them.
Yes. And that's an 8. D3 mortal wounds.
Just the 1.
So 1 will take a wound because they have 2 wounds each. Right, onto the Hive Tyrant. What are we doing?
We are going to put Catalyst on the Horror Specs again.
Okay.
Or not, as the case may be.
That's
I don't have any command points left, so
No.
it's D3 wounds on myself. Just the 1.
1 on the
Down
Hive
to
Tyrant.
11.
Okay.
And then he's going to cast the Horror on this Onager.
Okay, I like it.
Or not.
So the Hive Tyrant whiffs. Interesting. On to the Broodlord. Broodlord smiting.
Yep.
Smiting. It'll hit the priests. And that's a 10. Does D3 mortal wounds.
3.
For 3 mortal wounds, and they ignore wounds on a 5 up because they're priests of fanatical devotion. Oh, look at that. Ignore all 3 of them. Their backs are against the wall and they're saying, "You shall not pass." So the Ravener and the last Gaunt managed to kill one of the Infiltrators over here, and then the Grabby Tongue from the Haruspex licked out and killed one of the priests, which is very interesting. With their 3 up and vulnerable save, it means he got a wound back again. And nom nom nom. And now the Hive Tyrant is firing its miasma cannon.
Correct.
At this Onager that he failed to horrify. Number of shots.
2.
2 shots, hitting on 3s.
2
both
hits.
hit, yeah.
Strength 9.
Toughness 7.
2 wounds.
2 wounds. 2 5 up
Minus
and
2s.
vulnerable saves. I make 1 fail 1. How much damage does it do?
Flat 3.
Flat 3. So that's down to 8 wounds left. Then the Trigon fired out his spines at the priest, but because he's so injured on 1 wound left, he did no damage. Now we're up to this unit of warriors on top of the gantry, firing the... what are the priests?
Death Splitters at the priests.
Yes.
And then the Venom Cannon will fire in
this onager.
Nice, okay. So Death Spitters hitting on 4s. And that's 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. And
One
that's
wound.
a wound, 3 up and fun, which I make.
Okay.
And the Venom Cannon at the onager.
1 hit.
1 hit.
Or shot, rather. Does hit.
Does hit.
And it's
it
a wound.
Does a wound.
-2.
-2. 5 up and vulnerable save, which I make as well. Target locked. So doing the same with the second squad?
Exactly the same.
Okay.
Death Spitters.
3 hits this time, and 2
2
wounds
wounds.
this time. 2 3 up and pluns. No, how much damage
1
did Death
damage.
Spitters do? So ignore damage on a 5. No, so you do kill one of the priests with the Death Spitters. And then the Venom Cannon.
2
2
shots.
shots. Hitting on 4s.
1 hit.
Yep. And a
One
wound.
wound.
5 up and bun. No, how much damage?
D3.
D3.
1.
So 1 more damage. This onager is down to 7 wounds left. Now the last thing left to fire, the acid spurt from the Lord of War, is going to hit 8-inch range. So it's going to hit this onager here. Nice. 2d6 auto hits as acid burns through the hull. That's 8 auto hits, but it's strength 6 versus toughness 7, so it needs 5s. And you
One,
get 2.
two.
Just 2 at -2.
Yep.
I failed them both. 2d3 damage. This acid is, I was going to say really painful, but you only do 2 wounds. So maybe not that painful this time. And that's the end of High Fleet Goliath's shooting phase. Both of these onagers have been injured. The priests have taken some wounds, as have the infiltrators. Now we're going on to the charge phase. Right, in the charge phase, the Rippers managed to get into this unit of Vanguard over here. I managed to kill 1 in Overwatch. Now we're on to the Trigon, trying to get into the priests. Just roll more than
He
a
has
3.
adrenal glands as well.
Roll more than
so
Snake Eyes. Oh yeah,
good.
he's definitely in. He's only got 1 wound left. But you want to take out a couple of targets before you die, right?
as much
And
damage
now the
as we can.
Broodlord. I think we need a 7 on the Broodlord, wasn't it?
I think so.
We'll roll and then we'll measure. 8. The Broodlord will be in to that last objective there. Now this bad boy is going to charge the neutron laser wielding on a Dune Crawler. So let's see if I can kill you in Overwatch. No, don't normally film Overwatch, but number of shots. 2 shots, sorry, D3 shots. Just need 1 6. Just 1 6 for the Omnissiah. No, I roll 4. We'll do the stubbers as well. 1 hit and another one. So just 1 hit because it was 6 shots. I need a 6. No, okay. And now the scythe prodigal goes charging in.
Charge in. 2d6 at the highest.
3d6 with that, yeah, 6. So he's definitely
Yep.
in. Not got very many attacks, but that Onager's probably in trouble. Now the Horror Specs, that was a 10-inch charge, right? It was 11,
yes, it
but
was
you
11,
got the
but he's
adrenal
got
glands.
adrenal glands.
Yeah, so let's see if he can get in.
No!
No, Snake Eyes, he does not get into this objective here. What else are we doing?
The 2 little bugs remaining, going to charge that other objective and see if we can get lucky over there.
Nice.
So, Ravener.
Yep, he's in.
And the Gaunt. He is
He's
not in.
And that's the end of the charge phase. The Raven is in to objective number 5, hidden away. Now he's only got 4 attacks, so he can't take it out, but he's there. He's there waiting for some buddies to come piling in. Meanwhile, where do we want to start?
Should we start with the
Big nasty one.
Big Nasty? Sure.
Okay, so 4 attacks, hitting on 5.
Rerolling ones.
Yes. And you get 2 hits again. And with the reroll, 2 hits. So still strength 10. So winning on 3s.
2
Both wounds. See, he
One
might
was
be injured,
3.
but he's got so many attacks and at strength 10. He's painful. So I need 2 5 up and vulnerable saves to keep the Onager alive. I make 1 d6 damage.
3.
For 3 damage. The Onager's down to 6 left. Interestingly, it's not dead, but you do stop me shooting. Because I need to fall back, and if I fall back, I don't have the fly keyword, so I can't shoot the big bug. Right, Trigon or Broodlord? Should we save the Broodlord for the end?
I think so.
Okay.
I think let's do the Ripper Swarms.
Oh yeah, Ripper Swarms
There.
into these Vanguard.
Hitting on 5s.
Today? Nice.
Oh, hello.
1 minute. Did everything hit?
Yes.
Those are the
Yes.
best Ripper Swarms ever.
They are really hungry.
3s to hit, 3s to wound.
4s to wound.
4s to wound, yeah.
Only
3s to
strength
wound. Okay.
Yep, so that's 4 wounds.
4 4-up saves. And they kill 2.
Nice.
That is very nice.
That is handy.
Yeah. Hero Ripper Swarms. Trigon, do we know how many attacks he's got? Now he's only down to 1 left. So the Trigon has the same number of attacks. His attacks don't degrade, but his weapon skill and his strength do. So this is all the Scything Talons. And he hits on 5s now.
Yep.
And he rerolls 1s. 2 hits.
2 hits.
Strength is now...
his strength doesn't degrade.
Okay.
It's just his movement.
So wounds on 2s then.
2 hits.
They both wound.
2 wounds.
3 up and buns. And make 1 fail, 1 d6 damage. For 6 damage, I'm not even going to bother rolling 6 for £100. He wipes out 1. Then his tail swings right. Hits on a 5. It hits. And it wounds. 3 up and bun. I fail. How much damage?
D3 damage
D3
on the tail.
tail. 3 damage. 3 5-ups. Oh, another 1 4s. That's 4 you've killed in this turn, but I have got Chant of the Remorseless Fist for re-rolling morale. So we're on to the last charging unit, which is the Broodlord. He has 6 attacks and he hits on 2s. You need more than 5 hits against this, and you blow it up. So basically, 6 attacks and you can't roll 1 1. This is probably for the game. Good luck.
There's a 1.
There's 1 1. He scratches at the surface. He clambers at the surface. It leaks. It spews filth, but he does not manage to wipe it out, break it open. Right, let's do some fighting back. Priests against the Trigon. I hit on 3s. And they are only strength 5, so I need 5s to wound, but 6s do mortal wounds instead of. And there's a couple of mortal wounds instead of. It dies. Does it go boom? It does not go boom. No death throws. I managed to take it out. Then this Alpha struck the Hero Rippers back, doing no damage. The Onager struck back this bad boy, the Lord of War, doing no damage back. And that is the end of Tyranid's turn 4. Now the morale test to take. He's going to be okay because I've got Chant of the Remorseless Fist anyway, so let's roll it. And re-roll that. Not Chant of the Remorseless Fist, Incantation of the Iron Soul.
That one.
And if I get high, then I'll check the leadership, and that's a 6. The Alpha is leadership 7, so he flees. He's scared of those Rippers. What a coward. Then I'm on to the Priests. Please roll low. 2. Okay, 2 plus 4 is 6. They hold, and I lost 3 of the Infiltrators round there, and they hold as well. Now that was the end of High Fleet Goliath's turn 4. They've got 4 points. I've got 0 points, but I will get 2 D3 points for holding on to these 2 objectives here. Assuming that I can hold on to them. Remember, if one of these things fall, then I think it'll be game over for the Penitent Forge. So let's find out what happens in turn 4 for the AdMech. So this is the last stand of the Penitent Forge as they try and keep this chem silo locked down. I fell back with the Onager Dunecrawler and Designate 17 healed 3 wounds on him. And now I mean to kill that monstrosity with my Solar Atomizer. He's in range to buff all these units around here, and I move the destroyers over as well, so everyone gets the re-roll shooty bubble. Now that Broodlord isn't within 1 inch of one of my models, so I can shoot him. He's got 3 wounds left. And the Priests and the Infiltrators are busting up through the middle as well. Now, if I don't kill the Harrowspecks in the shooting phase, hopefully the Priest can lock up with him, because if I manage to lock up with him, then he can't fall back and charge one of these silos instead. So this is desperate stuff. So I'm going to start off by the 2 Infiltrators. They'll fire 1 Flechette Blaster at the Ravener, the other Flechette Blaster at the Bug. And because they declared a charge, they don't get the Jawmonger +1 for that thing, right? The
Yes.
+1 cover thing.
They don't get the cover save because they charged.
Nice. So 1 Uzi at this guy, hitting on 3s and wounding on 5s. 2 wounds.
Minus nothing.
Yep.
Got 5 up on the Ravener.
And he saves them both.
Saves them
And then
both.
an Uzi on the other little bug. Only 2 hits. 4s to wound. 1 wound, 1/6 up, please. And you make that save as well.
So do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, spraying bullets all over the place, but these quick reflexes of the Tyranids, keeping them safe. So onto the destroyers. I fired the phosphor guns at the little gaunt, got rid of it, and now I'm going to fire the 2 plasma culverns in at the Tyrant Guard. The idea is if I fire at the Hive Tyrant, then you'll just pass them off onto the Tyrant Guard anyway. So I need to clear away the Tyrant Guard, because then that onager can fire at the Hive Tyrant and the priest can then charge in and engage that and tie it up. That's the plan. That's the plan anyway. So 2d6 shots overcharging in at the Tyrant Guard. Number of shots is 3 and 5. So hitting on 4s with the first one, rolling separately in case they overcook.
Nice.
Everything hits. 4s on the other one. And re-rolling if I want to. I think now's the time where I have to use these rerolls. I definitely have to use these rerolls. If I get a 1 though, I'm going to lose a destroyer. I don't get any 1s. Is that 7 hits?
That is 7 hits.
After failing to hit those Raveners last time. I'm very impressed. Strength 8, toughness of 5. So I need 3s to wound. And everything wound at AP -3, 2 damage each. And they advanced last time to keep up with him, right?
Yep.
So you don't get the +1.
So it's just 6s.
Just 6s.
Right, 1. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They are dead.
Is that perfectly efficient shooting? Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. I didn't expect that to happen. Now let's fire at the Hive Tyrant with the Onager Dune Crawler. And I'll put the Stubbers into the Broodlord. Actually, the Stubbers went into the Venom Throat, took a wound off of him. And now Zoanthrope. Now D3 shots into the Warlord for this army. Neutron Laser. Need big money. Haven't got any command points. And a roll of 1. Hitting on A3 and re-rolling because of Designate 17. Right, at least the shot gets through. Now I need to wound. Strength 10. Wounds. You have a 4 up and 1 or a 5 up and 1?
4 up and 1 for a Hive Tyrant.
Yes.
Saved.
And he makes it. The 2 Vanguard there fired at the Horror Specs. Now the Rangers are going to fire at the Broodlord. This is the Transuranic Arquebuses. And it's strength 7, so I need 3s to wound. 1 wound and -3 D3 damage. So 1 5 up and vulnerable save for the Broodlord. And you make it. Now I've got rapid firing guns here coming in instead, so that'll be 6 shots on the Broodlord. Hitting on 3s, and re-rolling because of D17, only 4 hits. And wounding on 5s, nothing. Oh dear, this isn't going to plan. That's all my shots. Apart from the Solar Atomizer. So Solar Atomizer this way, then Designate 17 is going to have to charge the Broodlord. Or you could take that objective out in my turn. Oh no. Okay, so Solar Atomizer, D3 shots on the big guy. For 2 shots. D17 hits on 2s. And of course he re-rolls, he's in range of himself. So they both hit. This is strength 10. The power of 1,000 suns. That.
Oh no.
That was bad. The power of 1,000 suns, but he forgot to turn it on. Now I'd love to be able to charge D17 into this thing here, but I have to charge the Broodlord. As I said, it can kill that objective in my turn, so I need to kill it first. I could put the priests back into him, but if I put the priest back into him, then the Haruspex moves up and charges it and kills it. So I need to keep the Haruspex back there. So yeah, or I could charge these guys into the Broodlord, but the Broodlord will make very short work of infantry. So let's try and get Designate 17 in on the Broodlord, rolling the charge distance. At least he manages to get in there.
Looks like it to me.
The Vanguard joined Designate 17 as well. The priests went into the Haruspex and the infiltrators joined the Ravener over there. So at the end of the charge phase, the priests do mortal wounds on 6s. That's no mortal wounds. And we'll start with the priests because the camera is pointing in that direction. So it is 3s to hit you.
Yep.
and I managed to get 6 hits, and I'm strength 5, so I need 5s to wound, but any 6s do D3 mortal wounds instead of. So 3 at -2.
Okay, that's 5 ups then.
Which makes
That's 2.
that's not bad. And so that would do D3 normally.
Yep.
And then D3 mortal wounds. So
Nice.
6 wounds off the Haruspex. That's not too. That's
Great.
pretty good. And then the infiltrators will smack that Ravener there. 2 attacks each. 3 attacks on the Princeps, hitting on 3s. And that was bad because I have taser goads, and any 6s would have exploded. So only 1 hit, and it doesn't wound. Oh no.
Did you have Chant of the Remorseless Fist?
No, this turn I've got the re-roll. Oh yeah, I've got Chant of the Remorseless Fist. You're right. I rolled 3 ones.
there.
Awesome. Thank you for reminding me.
That's
I
all
do
right.
have re-roll 1s.
Oh, that
It
made
didn't
all the
help.
difference.
And now we're going to do Designate 17 into the Broodlord. This has to work. So Belisarius Cool, aka D17, has 4 attacks, hitting on 2s, and he's re-rolling 1s because of Counter Cool. And there's 3 1s again. Fate. Zinch, what are you doing to me? Only 2 hits. Because I know what's going to happen if I don't kill him. You're going to attack that, right?
Yep.
That's what I would do. Right, I'm up to strength 6 with my Omniscient Axe. You're down to toughness 4 due to rad saturation with the Vanguard. Typically you'd be toughness 5, but they drop your toughness down by 1s. Anyway, I'm wounding on 3s. 2 wounds. Minus a bit, so 2 5 up into vulnerable saves, and each of these does 2 damage.
Here we go.
You
No.
fail them both, and
He
that's
is
4 damage.
dead.
Breathing a sigh of relief. Do I want to consolidate closer to the enemy lines and eat all the psychic stuff? Probably not, no. The Haruspex gets the fight back. Right, Haruspex, each time he loses a wound in the fight phase, you roll a dice, and on a 6 it does a mortal wound back again. So he lost 6 wounds. So let's see if you get any 6s.
No.
No, so that didn't work. And now he fights with his grabby tongue. So
He fights with his Ravenous Maw,
nice.
which makes D3 attacks for every attack on his profile, which is 4, so 43 attacks. That's nice.
That's pretty
So
good.
6, 7, 8,
9. 9 attacks?
9. That's mathematics.
That is mathematics.
So he's hitting on 4s still,
Nice.
even though he's degraded,
Yes.
and he's currently at strength 6, so
Okay.
he'll still be wounding on 2s.
Nice. What was the hit? And winning on
That's
2s.
pretty tasty.
That's pretty tasty.
There we go, so it's 4 wounds, it's minus something, doesn't really matter, but it's D3 damage.
3 up in vulnerable save.
Ooh.
I fail 3 of them. So 3d3
First
damage.
one, 2 damage.
2 5 up ignore wounds. 1's dead.
Second one, I don't know, I rolled 2 dice. 3 damage.
Another one's dead.
Third one, 2 damage.
And another one's dead. You kill 3, leaving 1 left. That means he gets to fight again, right?
Yes, for every time it slays an enemy model with its Ravenous Maw, it can immediately make 1 extra attack with its Shoveling Claws.
Brilliant. So 3 extra attacks with the shoveling claws. 2
twice.
hits. Wounding on
It's-
2s.
Yep, wounding on 2s.
1 wound, 1 3 up invulnerable save. If you kill that, it's basically game over because you'll be able to charge in, wipe that thing out, and everyone thinks Haruspex suck. And if Haruspex wins this game for you,
No
3 up
pressure.
invuln. And I fail. And I-
D6 damage.
D6. 2. Right, 2 5 up zealot saves. No. The priest falls. The Haruspex wipes them out. And that's the end of Adeptus Mechanicus turn 4. It's 4 points to 0. It's close as close can be. Let's head on into Tyranids turn 5. If they take out one of these things, it's going to be an automatic victory because they have 4 points, and the most I'm going to get is 2d3. If you take one out, that'll be 5 points, and then I can get a maximum of 3 plus 1 for slaying your warlord. So let's go into Tyranids turn 5 and see if they can wreck open the last of the chemical silos. Here we are after the movement phase for the Tyranids. The brain bugs come forward. The Hive Tyrant and the Haruspex comes forward. I think it's a 5-inch charge for the Haruspex and a 7-inch charge for the Hive Tyrant. The big, bad Lord of War eyes up its next victim. Meanwhile, in the backfield, the warriors look on. Right, in the psychic phase, the Vanguard have fallen under the might of the Hive Tyrant. The last infiltrators, which we forgot to fight back with, have been wiped out as well. And now we've still got one last Neurothrope to go. And just measuring up, you're out of 18-inch range of the destroyers, but you're within 15-inch range and line of sight of Belisarius Call, aka Designate 17. And he already took 3 wounds from the Neurothrope. So he's only got 5 wounds left. And you've got a Smite and a Psychic Scream. And there's the Smite. D6 damage. For 6 damage. That's Slay the Warlord. Then in the shooting phase, the warriors failed to scratch the surface of this Onager Dunecrawler, but then the Rippers came charging in. And then this Lord of War, the Scythed Herodgeril, took this... Mjolnir. Do you think that you know that thing in Thor where it's got the hammer and she's like Mjolnir?
Exactly like that.
Exactly. The Onager's down to 1 wound left, and this big bad boy came charging in, ready to smack it open. And now we're on to the charge over here to win the game. So the Horuspex is charging in. It needs a 5. It's in. And the Hive Tyrant needs a 7. And that's in as well. So the Haruspex has 4d3 attacks. That's a lot of attacks. And we've added these all together with the Hive Tyrant there. Just need to get lots and lots of hits. And that's lots and lots of hits. And the last of the silos, well, the second to last of the silos is taken down. And the silo goes down, and you had 4 points plus 1 is for slaying the Warlord is 5 points plus another d3 points. 3 is 8 points, and the maximum I can get is 3 plus 1 for slaying the Warlord, so there is no way back from this. The Penitent Forge failed to defend this complex, and this is the way the world ends. And so with very few assets left on either side, with a couple of Onager Dunecrawlers, a couple of infantry and some destroyers, the Penitent Forge fail. But you've only got 2 big bad boys, your Hive Tyrant and some psychic stuff. And some warriors.
He's only on 1 wound.
And some warriors, yeah. And this guy should have died a long time ago. I mean, that was a bizarre game when it came down to some dice rolls. He should have been dead. He should have definitely been dead. And what's up with your psychic mastery? You should be playing Eldar with rolls like that.
Don't say that.
That was a beautiful thing. You were just smiting and psychic screaming and smiting your way through. And we started doing the Belisarius Call rolls off camera because we thought, oh no, you're not going to be able to kill him in one psychic phase. And then you wiped out that squad, wiped out that squad, wiped out the other squad over there, put 3 wounds on him, and then we realised that you still had the psyker left to go. And then you slayed my Warlord. So I think what won you that game was your psychic mastery. Well done.
Rolling lots of good dice.
Are you normally so good when it comes to killing stuff with mind bullets?
Yes.
You are? Nice, I like it. You should definitely play Eldar. So how do you think that game went? Do you like it?
That was pretty epic. Definitely could have swung either way.
Yeah.
A fair few places. There were a couple of turns where it looked like one side was going to overpower the other.
Yeah.
And then the other came back, and then just at the end.
I think after the first couple of turns, you didn't do much damage, and I did a lot for you. But when you finally got in range, and it just started crashing in and crashing in and crashing in, it was brutal stuff. And I like what we did with these objectives here, them blowing up. That added that random element. You didn't know which way it was going to go.
It was nice and fun.
Yeah.
But I do like the gambling aspect.
Yeah, and the reason why we threw that in there as well is because you could potentially have rolled low at the end, and I could have had a couple of objectives left and somehow stolen it. But in the end, I could not stop the might of Hive Fleet Goliath. And I like the fact that you used
Jormungandr.
That's the one, because I don't see that very much in battle reports. Do you see it much in battle reports? No, I don't see it much in battle. Why do you use that one?
Because my regular opponent likes to bring lots of scary guns.
Right.
I need that to survive.
Yeah, I suppose on the big bugs, unlike on these things, getting them up to a 2-up save
It's really good.
is really good. And that stratagem where you can go in reserve as well, that proved to be quite good as well. My screening did keep you back, but it wasn't enough. It was not enough. So in the end, it turned out to be a victory for the hive mind. Penitent Forge could not keep the Tyranids back. So we'll close it out here. This terrain brought to you by foreground.co.uk, the battle map from gamemat.eu. This scenery down here is from gamemat.eu. These dice, if you like them, that's the deploymentzone.tv logo. You can get these dice from deploymentzone.tv. And if you like more Winter's SEO battle reports, if you want to watch any more Winter's SEO battle reports, please subscribe to deploymentzone.tv. Thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you to all my patrons, and thank you to everyone who subscribed to deploymentzone.tv. You guys are legend. And most importantly, thank you to Red2 for coming down.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. And yeah, happy wargaming.